And we're live, just like that. The magic of the internet.
Interwebs.
I don't know if I should reveal the surprise that I'm holding over Chris's head immediately now before we even start the show, or just go ahead and start the show and reveal the surprise after our introductions.
I think it should be after the introductions because
It's right. It's right. We have a new face.
You gotta have
Right.
it's like clickbait, but a little better.
Very well. We will just get right into it then, and I'll start my big whole spiel.
Okay.
Greetings.
John, how did I know, seriously, that you would pick that? Anyways, continue.
And welcome to episode 34 of Backwards Compatible. We're a super cool duo, plus one, with a passion for nerdy things like video games, comics, anime, the whole works. And Chris, before I deleted it, wrote "and butt stuff."
Yes, I did! Why did you delete it? That's pretty messed up.
I saw that in the outline, and I was like, wait, what?
See? I try to keep this show proper, and Chris just derails me into this lewd era of...
Your t-shirt literally has a top hat on it, so you're automatically the biggest gentleman here.
I try. Really, I do. We do have a special guest on this week's show to ease the passing of Shar, who is not dead, but just dead to wild card. So everyone welcome Erika.
Hi.
Round of applause. Chris is identified
Hello.
a hyperdimension, and I just learned the pronunciation of this word, and I've already forgot it. Erika, give me the pronunciation one more time.
Atelier, as in the Atelier series.
It's true. She is Hyperdimension and Atelier, lorekeeper extraordinaire. That is quite the title.
It's slightly inflated, but I'll take it.
Last week, we introduced ourselves as our favorite Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This week, let's do Happy Meals or similar toys. I'm Jonathan Higgins, the 1994 Sonic 3 Happy Meal toys of this podcast. At the time, I was sought out by adoring fans, but now I'm just kind of awkward and out of place, struggling between two identities. Have you seen those Happy Meal toys, by the way?
I have a story for you, actually. I was going to say, I knew you would pick it, because, of course, you love Sonic like me. But when those Happy Meal toys came out, on the bag, because they didn't have boxes back then, it was just the cheaply printed bags, there used to be a little thing where you could cut it out, fill out a form, and send it in to win a copy of Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
Wow.
Yeah, you didn't.
I was never big into the Happy Meals back in the day, man.
Yeah, that's pretty intense.
Yeah.
That's like encouraging childhood obesity right there.
yeah, it's like the golden tickets in the Wonka bars, man.
Oh my god!
I had so many Happy Meals, but I never won technically. But my mom's coworker had a Happy Meal for her daughter and entered me because her daughter didn't care for video games, and she won. And I kid you not, one day, this Sonic the Hedgehog 3, the whole thing, the clamshell, everything, just showed up in like a box in the mail. And I would get the mail every day, so I opened it up and I'm like, what is this? It's addressed to me. I opened it and it's a copy of the game. I have no idea. I'm like, someone sent me a free game. I had no idea how I won it. It was the best, seriously.
When I get Holly on this show next week, I'm going to tell her to tell you about the Star Wars stuff that she mistakenly won. That is a story, sir.
Well, moving on, I am Chris, a.k.a. Wildcard Corsair of this, and I am the Burger King Pokemon Pokeball of this podcast because I present a massive choking risk for children under 5. Which is a joke. It's a joke. I have a son. We're okay. Trust me.
I was going to say, aren't you a father?
It's like, don't you know when to make a joke and when not to make a joke?
No, that is not. I have never ever known.
Sway back and forth.
Yeah,
I have no personal line of decency whatsoever.
All right.
Erika, I do believe you are officially next.
Yes, I am officially next. I am Erika, a.k.a. Hello Neo. That's how you pronounce my Twitter handle. For all those people out there who are increasingly not getting the Matrix reference, which is making me feel older and older. And I I have a prop for my toy. This was the Burger King. This was the Burger King Star Wars Episode 3.
My God.
And I was told that the Darth Vader was rare, so I went out and got a bunch of these because you can buy them for like 50 cents. And this woman who looked like she couldn't care less took a whole box, and they were all Darth Vaders, so I promptly realized that was crap. But I never took it out of the wrapper because I thought one day it would go somewhere in its life, which is how I feel, to be philosophical, about myself. So I am the Darth Vader, still in its original wrapper, Happy Meal toy.
That is deep as hell. Wow.
I've been doing this for like 34 episodes, and she's already usurped me. You're the new host of the Backwards Compatible podcast, Erika.
Wow,
congratulations.
You didn't even have that long to put thought into this, and somehow you still one-upped us all.
I know.
I have a cave of wonders full of swag. It's like stuff that will never be worth anything. And you said Happy Meal toy. I was like, oh, it finally has a purpose. Oh my God!
Oh
my God!
My favorite people. Congratulations. All right. Whether you're new to the show or old to the show, we're very happy to have you here. Whether you're watching live or you're tuning in to us later, thank you for joining us. Speaking of those who aren't here live and in the moment with us, we happen to be getting our video podcast and soon-to-be audio podcast on at 8:30 p.m. Mountain Time, 10:37 p.m. on the East Coast, 2:30 the next day in Australia. We got all sorts of crazy times coming at this dang show.
Australia's in the future.
They are.
Yes.
But today, the East Coast, it's March 3rd, 2015. And before I get into the audience question and anything else, I do believe I promised you a surprise, Chris. I want you to look very closely at my screen right now and tell me what you see.
Aha! You, sir, upgraded.
I upgraded. And my data is perfectly transferred after an hour of agonizing agony.
Did I not warn you?
How many specialists did you have to call?
Oh my God. I had the one specialist, that was my girlfriend, who spent literally 15 minutes trying to unscrew the back of this damn system. But the true, bad moment was after the transfer was complete, my old system, which is still here, brick that it is, said that it was going to format and restart. And my old system formatted and everything was fine. And the new system said that it too was going to restart itself. But it didn't restart itself. It hung there in the system transfer menu saying connecting to internet with this infinite loop from all hell. And it was just an infinite loop. I waited 5-10 minutes and it just kept going connecting to internet. And I'm like, oh fuck, what did I do?
Because you know the universal rule is don't disconnect from the internet. Do not turn the system off. You will not.
Exactly.
You will have to respend over $200. It is the worst punishment.
After 15 minutes of seeing that circle just laying there over and over again, I'm like, it said the transfer was complete. I should be fine. Lo and behold, I am fine.
Literal Russian roulette with the.
Yes. Yes, I did.
That is the best analogy.
It is literal Russian roulette with this piece of crap Nintendo formulated. I want to throw my brand new system up against the wall and break it because system transfer.
Because then how will you play Xenoblade? Hmm?
See,
yes.
She gets me.
Yes.
She gets me.
I'm surprised. John, the immediately what comes to mind is you said that you were going to wait until 2 weeks before Xenoblade Chronicles 3D,
yes,
just in case there was a exclusive.
I have found a loophole. I found a loophole, and I'm going to link the loophole to the Backwards Compatible Twitter and Facebook after this show. But friend and often listener of the show, Oscar, linked me to a Xenoblade Chronicles faceplate kind of skin that I can sticker on to my brand new system.
Yeah, that's where it's at, boy, right there.
It's like those decals.
Yeah.
You've seen the decals that you can put the skins onto your Wii U and PS4 and whatever. It's a decal for the new 3DS XL that looks exactly like the Monado faceplates, which is what the limited edition system would look like if it existed.
And it'll actually probably be a better quality. I mean, if you go to any kind of a store that does decals for windows or cars or anything, most of them at this point have those laser cutter printers, and if you bring them the design, like, they'll do it. And
exactly.
You can just bring them a good black and white image of the Monado, and they'll even put it on your system. I mean, as long as there's no way for that to even invalidate your warranty, because they don't have to get it wet or anything. It's just
exactly. It's just a sticker.
Yeah, and it'll stay on probably longer. It won't chip off.
And see, that's why that's why I did this. I just decided on a whim. I'm like, the decal exists. I'm going to get the decal. It's going to come to my door. I'm going to be good. And then I'm going to just get the new system and get this damned system transfer over with.
You know, I'm really hoping they don't make Bravely Second a... I'm really hoping they don't screw us over and make that new 3DS only, because I do not want to buy a new 3DS.
It was, it's for the regular 3DSs, right, in Japan, so I don't think there's...
In Japan, it's regular, but remember, we got an enhanced version of Bravely Default.
True,
like ours
very true.
So I'm hoping they don't change it to boost sales.
You're right.
I think we're okay. I think we're okay.
I think we're okay, too, but I'll never rule anything out. Erika, is there any reason you don't want to upgrade?
Well, I don't want to spend the money all over again because I don't feel like I've gotten enough use out of my current 3DS.
That's fair. I've had my 3DS since, well, I mean, I upgraded with the Fire Emblem edition when that came out in 2013. But beyond that, my girlfriend has my old 3DS. I have gotten wear and tear out of all of my 3DS systems. I'm good.
Yeah, your 3DS outlasted.
It shouldn't ever become obsolete, is my point, because it doesn't seem like all the new 3DS games will need, there don't seem like there'll be many that will be specifically for the new 3DS.
Have you played Xenoblade on the Wii?
Yes. Yes.
And you own it? Have you completed it?
Yes.
You have completed it.
Well, my husband did, but I watched the whole thing sitting next to him.
Either way, you completed it by transference, and now we both, once again, can say to Chris, play that damn game.
It's really
I'm waiting.
It's real. I mean, it is a legit. There aren't many legitimate, almost 100-hour RPGs anymore, and that game, I don't see how you can finish it under 80 hours. I really don't.
That is correct.
How. And I don't know why you'd want to rush through it either, because the worlds are so amazing. It's just so unique looking.
Correct.
And it has Ricky Pond, so I mean,
it does.
Hero Pond, the best. So.
This girl gets me. I'm happy.
Hey, did I not tell you, John? Did I not tell you?
You hyped her up. She lived up to the hype. That's fantastic. Now,
he is just assaulted by tweets from me and Barrel all day.
All the time, yeah.
Last week's audience question, since we will actually start the show proper now that my surprise is done and over with. What's an ultra-rare video game, anime, etc. you wish you could afford and play? We do have some audience answers, but I will need to pull them up. Okay. So in the meantime, Erika, why don't you go first?
Oh, wow. I actually thought about this question because I realized that I don't have any anymore, but because of, digital downloads now, and I gotta say probably the most recent one was Suikoden 2, because when that went up on the PSN, that was a rare game I was not going to spend $200-some-odd on. But, I was able to get a $9, whatever it was digitally.
It was discounted too, wasn't it?
It was. Originally, it was up at the wrong price. If you got it, originally, then they changed the price. It was funny. But,
God, that game is so good.
I remember not too long ago, probably the last game I wanted that's harder to find was Dragon Quest VII on the PlayStation 1. Ooh. And the hubs found it for me with a strategy guide. And I know it's not like super expensive anymore because they, you know, you can import the Japanese 3DS.
Right. Hopefully we'll play the localized version sometime.
I know, right?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's not
Keep
so
crossing those fingers.
Anymore, you know? There's just things I want. Like, I want a black label Final Fantasy VII just to say I have it. But I have Final Fantasy VII like 800 times over. Square Enix, can you please make a remaster of that?
The game from PlayStation 4 instead of porting the PC version and doing the biggest
I have personally
I will always remember that. Because that shit popped up on my TV screen or wherever it was I was watching the stream, and I'm like, no way. Because they had just, like, fucking confirmed the localization for Yakuza and, like, announced that Suikoden was coming, and I was, like, on a high, and then Square Enix comes on the stage and goes, Final Fantasy VII, and I'm like, oh my god.
Dude.
I can't believe people clapped for that. I would have put it back, like, boo!
I think someone did. But they were super, super hydrated from all the fanboy tears that day. It was monumentous. It was like...
Oh, brief Final Fantasy VII tangent. Chris, do you have an answer?
You know, the only thing I can really think of is, I guess it's like the last thing that's super, super expensive that I want and is not out yet, which is Fire Emblem for the Wii, which is like super, super expensive, and that hasn't hit. Like I'm still crossing my fingers now that they're actually doing Wii ports to the Wii U. I'm really hoping that they go for that one next because I did get Xenoblade Chronicles, so I have that. Metroid Prime Trilogy was $10. I bought that on the Wii U, so that's fine.
Next. I think it's going to be sometime down the line, but I do think it's going to happen.
As long as it comes. Oh, you know what? I've got a good one.
Now.
Oh.
I've actually got a good one. I do want Skies of Arcadia Legends. That's what I want.
That is a good one.
That's what I want. And I feel like that's impossible now because Sega's in the shitter.
And if I had met you 3 months before I had met you, you would have it. Because I sold my copy of Skies of Arcadia Legends on eBay for a hefty penny.
He's
3 months before all that shit happened. It was literally within 3 months. If I had met you 3 months later, I'd be like, you know what? Here.
You know what? And I would have just bought it too. You could have sold it all you want. I just wanted to play it. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, he's clearly a sucker.
That's such an amazing game.
Everything.
Pirate says the surefire way to get me to buy anything except for Assassin's Creed 4. Not doing it.
No,
Someone in the audience has asked for our thoughts on Dragon Quest or Golden Sun.
John, do they not know you?
They don't, and it's okay because these are new listeners because Erika's awesome and she's bringing us new viewers. It's awesome.
Aww.
Now, Dragon Quest or Golden Sun. I don't know how to pick between the two.
John, tell your Golden Sun story for the new listeners. Right. It's the best.
All right. I've been dating my girlfriend, who is asleep in the next room and who will be on the show next week to tell this story in person, but...
Well, ask her from her perspective, like how hard...
We will. No, don't spoil it.
I'm not...
Okay. It's E3 2009, and the Golden Sun and Golden Sun The Lost Age are very, very near and dear to my heart. They are among my favorite games of all time. And Reggie's up on the stage, and he says, before we go, we have one last RPG to tell you about. This franchise has been in the dark for over 8 years, and I'm thinking to myself, is he about to, like, announce Mother 4 or something? Because that's been a while. But then he says, 2010 will bring a new dawn with Golden Sun DS. And I'm like, yes! So I shoot my hands up in the air. My girlfriend of 10 years is snuggling up against me when I shoot my hands up in the air.
You punched her in the face.
I punched her in the face. I punched her right in the face. And it hurt. It it was a violent, like, upshoot punch, because that was, like, my number one most anticipated, never coming in a million years game. She still remembers the battle wounds.
Spousal abuse for video games.
Infamous
I'm amazed
Jonathan
she
story.
remembers it and didn't just, like, black out on the floor.
Because she was seriously like, ow, and I was half in ecstasy and half like, oh my god, what did I just do?
It's
Did you
the
be like,
best
baby?
and worst feelings at once.
Baby, I'm gonna comfort you in a sec, but I gotta freak out about this. Give me just another minute.
Anyway, Dragon Quest is remarkably good, but Golden Sun is a little bit better.
He's not punched his girlfriend over Dragon Quest. That'll tell you something.
And yes,
I'm
new
gonna have
listener
to go
Tim,
Dragon
Golden
Quest.
Sun DS does suck. Golden Sun DS is awful, but that's okay.
Aw, Tim Humpernickel, hello. He's been bugging me to do a podcast forever, so hello, new Tim. It's got to be Tim Humpernickel. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Dragon Quest on that one because there's something
Fair
about the familiarity of that. Like when I saw the trailer for Heroes, and I heard that little happy menu song that like I was like I was instantly happy. It was like a subconscious, like, electrodes lit up in my brain. I was like, it's Dragon Quest! It's coming back! And
Dragon Quest Heroes is confirmed for the West.
dude, I was like doing a little dance. I was like, yeah. And it looks so good. It looks so good, too. And it's just, I was so excited, man. So.
All right, Chris, you are very unfamiliar with both Golden Sun and Dragon Quest. Like, you certainly know what they are. You certainly know what they are, and you've played the first Golden Sun thanks to me buying it for you or something to that effect. I know I bought it for some people.
You might have. I don't know. If you didn't, I did. Obviously.
Right.
I guess if I had to pick. Definitely Golden Sun, because the first one's really nice. I really do enjoy that game. That's pretty good. I've never, ever once played a Dragon Quest. Never in my life. Even the ones that came, you know what? I'll tell you what it is, and I know Beryl will back me up on this when he says it's the character designs that are just, it pushes me away. I'm not a huge fan of Akira Toriyama at all. I like Dragon Ball, the original Dragon Ball. I do like Dragon Ball.
Okay.
But those character designs, I mean, you can look at every single Dragon Quest character and you're like, oh, that's Trunks with a bandana. Look, that's Pan with a...
Randy's heart right now. You're crushing
He knows. He knows. We have had this discussion. Trust me, he and I, we're on a whole other level where we've already worked through all of this. That was like our first lover spat was over this. Poor Randy, rip in pieces, my homeboy. You're not on the show anymore.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Anyway,
Yeah,
Tim
gonna have
says,
to go Golden Sun.
I've been bugging you for a lot of things, Erika. I'm converting this Q&A chat bar to a chat screen. I will be happy to provide Tim this service.
Is it? I'm new to this whole thing, so is it just you that can see the comments, or?
I think if you click the little Q&A bar over in your little window, you can also see the comments. But if not, I will happily relay all the comments to you if I'm the only one that can see them.
Yeah.
I'm not cool enough because I'm doing this from a tablet, so I'm not cool enough.
I don't want to screw anything up by pressing something.
It's all good. I'll take care of you.
Sometimes these Google chats hang on by like magic. They're powered by like
it's true.
a Mako reactor under my desk. So
this is exactly what I'm powered by.
I
am Firestorm. Yes.
We're the Guardians of the Galaxy, bitch.
I like how I'm the only red thing on my face is my nose. I look like the villager right now.
You look
the villager.
I'm not giving you any of my fruit, alright? You can
Oh, come on. Persimmons at least.
Wow.
Never played a single Dragon Quest V. Play Dragon Quest V and then we'll okay.
Oh, when are they gonna put that out on the 3DS?
They're not going to put it out on the 3DS because it's out on the DS.
On the DS and stick it in your 3DS and then go do and then life's
Thank you, Erika.
You won't even have to worry about it looking like Dragon Quest because it's all little 8-bit characters anyway. So you'll be like, oh, it's pixel art, and you'll feel manly tears and have.
I won't be fooled. I'm sorry. The Goku with blue hair is gonna stare out at me. I'm sure at every turn.
Well, we all know
it's not.
Okay.
He doesn't even have blue hair. Doesn't he wear a hat in that game for a long time?
I don't remember, man. And how is Chrono Trigger any different? I mean, it's all this red hair and a bandana.
Oh my God, does he
Well, actually,
not
that's
like
the reason.
Chrono Trigger art?
That's actually why I've never played Chrono Trigger either. I have stayed away literally from every Akira Toriyama video game, including Blue Dragon. So,
Well, the Blue Dragon was terrible. I got about 10 minutes into that game, and I had to kill myself. I was like, no, this voice. You know what it was the voice acting. The game could have been great, but it was like fingernails on a blackboard, and I had to stop. I know Microsoft is trying.
One day.
Dragon Quest V. And yes, I will readily back up Dragon. I don't think it's my favorite of all of them. It's definitely my second favorite, if it's not my favorite. I think I liked 9 a little more because of the customization elements and because of all the various bells and whistles that you can do in that game. But Tim also says it was it was the only game he's ever cried from.
Yes.
And that game, Chris, because you're not going to play it. Man, Chris, you're a family man. You have a son. That game,
I'm going to go home and be a family man.
That game is all about family. You follow this dude through his lineage. You follow this guy, and he has children of his own, and you watch him have children of his own, and grow on this journey. And
so does Rogue Legacy. I don't.
Dude.
You just have to experience it because you spend so much time with him, and then something awful happens, and you don't just hear about it or get told about it. You're forced to watch time passing, and you're forced to realize the time you're losing with your own family. Like you're watching your son grow, and he doesn't know you're there. It's to see the loss happening in front of you, while you're powerless. I mean, it's all in pixels, and you never think this would have this effect on you, and you're just sitting there and you're staring at it, and you're like, this is so sad. And even though it has a happy Dragon Quest-y ending, you're always aware that he lost all that time, and he'll never get it back, and it is so sad.
We need to have Erika on this show more because she's gonna put you in your place, sir. All right, there's our Dragon Quest aside. Now,
I hope you're happy to derailed this whole podcast.
To my own.
Hey, that's what this thing is for. We are the king.
That's exactly what this thing is for. We are the king of tangents. It's great. I want to play DuckTales 2, but I also don't want to pay $100 for DuckTales 2 on the NES. Because that game is worth a lot of money these days because it was created near the end of the NES's lifespan, and because it's out of print. The regular DuckTales goes for $10-15. DuckTales 2, $150 at least.
Oh, so it's like a lesser version of the Panzer Dragoon saga.
Basically. That's the other one that I named on this here outline, because I want to buy a Saturn, and I want to buy Panzer Dragoon Saga, and I want to play it. Because I never played Panzer Dragoon.
Good luck.
I did, however, play Guardian Heroes on a friend's Sega Saturn for a minute, and I loved every second of that game, and I haven't played it since. Because Guardian Heroes is exclusive to the Xbox Live Arcade, and I do not own an Xbox of any way, shape, or form. So fuck you, Microsoft, because I can't have what I want.
I'm telling you, dude. You need to just break down. Get Lost Odyssey 2.
It's my fault. I know.
This is
dude,
why,
they're so cheap.
I never even take a side when it comes to, are you a Microsoft, Sony, or Nintendo person? I go where the games are, and they're everywhere. And while everyone else is going to have their pissing contests, and my headphone is going to fall. This is a Sony product, by the way.
There you go. You know what? Neptunia teaches us that there is no winner when the CPUs fight each other. There you go.
Industry for everybody.
Yes.
True.
And their enormous, enormous bosoms.
she has props. She has props. It's true. I'm not like really just anti-Microsoft. I just never have a reason outside of 1, 2, maybe 3 games ever that I would own a Microsoft console for. When it gets to be like 5 to 10, when it gets to be handfuls of games and Microsoft starts making games that I want to play on their system and their system alone and makes a lot of them, yes, I will eventually cave and get probably the 360, because I have a lot of catching up to do. Just on the arcade titles alone, I could spend a few years.
The 360 has a good library, but I bet a lot of them are going to come digitally, and you might as well just start with the one, because they've pretty much abandoned the 360 in a way that, like, honestly, after the whole botched launch where they had to go save a bunch of face because of the stupid Kinect, right. Their only failure, I would say, is really just abandoning the 360, because the PS3 still has games coming for it. I mean, Atelier Shally is coming out. Tokyo
Tales of Zestiria is coming out for it.
Yeah.
And Persona 5. Like, lots.
There are multitudes of games coming out for the PS3, and there's games I still haven't played because there were so many. But the PS3 and the 360's lifespans were completely opposite. 360 had, like, everything at the beginning. PS3 took a while, and then it was like all back-ended. So, right. You know, I think they're still going to, like, chug along until whenever, whereas Microsoft was like, you're old, in with the new.
Ever becomes
like, get in the corner!
Yep.
I will buy an Xbox One day one if it ever becomes backwards compatible.
It won't.
God, I wish. That would be amazing.
I know it won't, but I can dream.
They had me by the balls when they said the Tomb Raider exclusivity, and I know it's not exclusive. Listen, I have played every Tomb Raider ever, and it is my nexus of.
Did you even stick it out with the terrible ones?
Yes, I played all of them, even the horrible ones.
Oh my God! Wow. Okay.
I will fully admit they're horrible.
Erika, you have resolve.
I almost broke Angel of Darkness into a million. That game was horrible to everyone who has ever suffered through that disco scene or that dance club where you're jumping around on the beams or walked into a door that killed you for no reason. Yeah, you know my pain, but I beat it. Because that's what you do when you're a fan.
Seriously, we need to get you a medal, because that is the craziest thing I've ever heard.
I even played the PC
that you finished
back in the day. Like, okay, so when I heard exclusivity, I was like, okay, that's it. I need an Xbox One. And just like Jonathan, I was going to wait to see if there was a special... No.
No judgment, because I, too, did not think I would be getting a new 3DS so soon.
Chris is over here on, like, the hashtag faceplate NA thing.
I know!
Like, I'm going to import, be hardcore. Like, I went to Australia and held one of these things in my hand and put it in my pocket. And as soon as I was able to fit it in my pocket, I'm like, okay, I don't have a lot to complain about. It's not as portable as I'd like it to be, but it's portable enough. So here it is in my hand. Chris was a huge proponent on the opposite end. He's like, damn you for not releasing the new 3DS! Damn you!
Hey, I still am, but an offer was made that I could not refuse, and it required me to get rid of my old 3DS. So I couldn't import it from Europe anymore. I couldn't. Like, it was no longer an option.
Fair enough.
Don't hate me.
Let's pay attention to the audience questions, where Tim confirms that the main protagonist of Dragon Quest V does indeed have a hat, and he called Chrono Trigger boring, which that's okay. We all have our opinions.
Even if they're wrong?
Yes, Tim, you're wrong.
I think, what did I say? I could have sworn there was something that I said to you, John, once, that I respect everyone's opinion, even if they're wrong.
Well, I mean, that was when we were bullshitting about Sonic Generations last week.
No, I think that was far before that. I don't know if you know this, John, but the history of us clashing about certain ideas goes back pretty far.
That's why, Charlotte is no longer on this show regularly, and I was like, what are we going to do without Charlotte? Chris
Our
and I
conflict killed her.
Just fine. Tim also says he hasn't purchased a console since he learned how to build his own PC, and the only reason he wants to play games on consoles is for Dragon Quest. So if Dragon Quest ever goes to the PC...
We have a member of the PC Master Race.
It should.
Oh. Oh. One of your kind.
The other guy in our audience is HCKY Dude 1103. He says they did the same
High definition
thing.
KY jelly?
No, HC, not
Just
HC.
a guess.
They did the same thing with the PS2, though. They pushed that shit for a long time in reference to Sony's extending the lifetime of their old consoles. I think the last PS2 game was released in 2013, which is a long lifespan.
Yeah, and he's right, because that is Sony's MO. They usually sink a ton of money in up front, and they tend to lose more money per console unit than Microsoft does, but they'll try to forward think their consoles a little more, and then they just try to bleed the most out of them once they're making pure profit out of it. They did it with the PS1, they did it with the PS2, you're going to do it with the PS3. The slim version of the PS3 didn't come out all that long ago, so, you got to remember, GTA 5 released on the PS3 not all that long ago, and that's a huge release to come out on a system that was about to be replaced. So,
very true.
They clearly have a lot of love for their old audience, and there's something to be said about not making people feel like they have to go out and spend another $300-400 at least to start up a new collection.
Exactly.
So.
And he also asks if Lara Croft is your spirit animal.
She is. Yes. Absolutely. 100%.
I would have to agree after the conversation that we've just had.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'd be disappointed if I heard a no.
Well, there is sort of I'll tell the very, very shortened story of why that is. When I grew up, we were not allowed to have video games in my house. I know, shocker. But my mom was very you won't do anything productive with your life. You'll go nowhere and you'll be brain dead. So but my dad worked with computers. So we would have games come in, we'd sneak them in on the computer. And one day I was in a CompUSA, and Tomb Raider 1 was out, and Tomb Raider 2 had a demo. And I played it, and I killed a tiger, and I jumped off the Great Wall of China. And I remember I looked at my dad, I said, I don't care how I get this, but I'm buying this game when it comes out. And he looked at me with all my 10-year-old resolve and was like, okay. Okay.
And he was moved. He was moved.
That's a badass lady, Lara Croft. You had good role models. You really did.
I wish I had a better story about the first time that I played Tomb Raider, but it really just kind of revolved around me going over to a friend's house, and he had Tomb Raider 1 on his computer, and we played it, and then we spent the rest of the night trying to figure out if there was a nude patch for the game. So
it was illegally until
I couldn't find it. I mean, me and this kid, we searched for quite a while, I promise you, and we didn't find anything back then.
Say, as a red-blooded American male who is being 100,000% honest with his lovely audience, I never once bothered with the Lara Croft nude.
Oh, bullshit. Bullshit.
I can say as a red-blooded American female that while I never tried to patch the game, mostly because I didn't know how to do that, I did see plenty of screenshots of it, so I know it was real, and I know what site you could get it from, and then I remembered when they shut it down, and the heartfelt pleas from Eidos and all the dev team about how this was never what they wanted her to be, and
of course,
blah blah blah. And he really, actually, they were really upset because they sued the crap out of all those people. It just disappeared.
Yeah, dude, that's what I would do if you create this, very strong, prolific female and then just have her be reduced to that. That would not make me happy as the owner of that intellectual property.
I think it was Toby Gard or whoever it was that originally created Lara Croft. I should know that name, but I'm forgetting now. He left after Tomb Raider 2 because that's when they hypersexualized her. And I mean, I'm not going to get into a whole conversation, but he did not like where his creation was going, so he left. Right. And immediately after Tomb Raider 2 is when the game started to nosedive. When they made Anniversary, which was a remake of the first game and was excellent, they brought him back to console, and like mysteriously, the game's improved.
Started getting better again.
They also brought him back in for Legend, and so yeah, it's you can see the rise and the fall.
This has been a completely different show than what I thought it was going to be at the outset.
I'm not sure.
I just have to say, you can do that like sexy pulling yourself up onto the ledge thing from the first game. Yes, yeah. You could do that. I mean, how many hours did young teenage boys spend just watching that animation over and over? And it was in there from the beginning.
Drop back in the short.
Yes. Come on. I can't even take him seriously.
Anyway, Tim, regarding buying consoles, says he lied. He did buy a Wii U for Zelda, and hell yeah. Also get Xenoblade Chronicles X if that's up your alley, sir, because that
will be when we buy a Wii U.
Chronicles X.
That will be when we get a Wii U, is when Xenoblade Chronicles X comes out.
Thank you. Thank you, Erika. Thank you for having sense.
I won't buy it for but
also, that he is not an PC Master Race fan, as they seem to make us seem superior. He places his Nintendo fanboyism ahead of his PCism. And that
I'll put Nintendo fanboyism ahead of everybody else, because as a former EB Games, that's important because I was there before the
merger.
That's
old, yeah.
Yes.
That's old.
They were the most annoying customers we had. And I say that with all the love in the world. PC people would come in, do you have this expansion? No. Okay, they'd leave. Nintendo people would come in, they'd tell you the whole story of the franchise, they'd tell you dates, names, what the art, the history was, what the Japanese translation was. You're standing there like, I got inventory to do, I got a UPS shipment, I don't give a shit, like, I have to be nice to you, I'm not paid enough for this. Like, dude.
I'm having such a good time right now.
If it helps, I only give any of that information away when I'm asked. I just never give it away. It's always like, the guy's like, oh, hey, what are you playing now? Then I'll tell him. But if I go up there, okay, I'm buying this game. He's like, all right, cool, here you go. I'm like, sweet. See ya.
Social anxiety. Exactly. So I'm pretty coy around my GameStop people.
There's a difference between somebody that's like, they're just having a conversation about games, and then all of a sudden they'll be like, no, you see, this is why Nintendo is better, because they have superior titles, and their games are timeless. And you're like, you know what's not timeless? My patience for this conversation. I am leaving.
You know what? I can totally see it. So yes, I will totally concede to that, because yes, that sounds like every Nintendo fan.
I don't think I've told this story on the show before, but so me and my former GameStop manager, he no longer works for GameStop in any capacity, so I can give his name. His name is Paul. I've known Paul forever. I went to Paul's wedding. That is how often that I went to that GameStop specifically for Paul, who treated me well and bent the rules a few times specifically for me because I was a return customer that much, and he loved his customers, even to the sense that it sometimes maybe got him in trouble. But Paul was there for the release of Heart Gold and Soul Silver in 2009. And I was also there for the release of Heart Gold and Soul Silver. So there were these two dudes ahead of us in line, and like we showed up pretty damn early. Like the mall was supposed to open up at 9, and we showed up at 8, like an hour before they opened. So like we figured we were going to be the first people in line because like it's Tallahassee and it's just Holly and I, and we were just going to like do coupley stuff and just hang around the mall before it opened. But there were two other people in line, and they were like having verbal battles with Paul not so that they could get the game early, but so that they could get the Lugia and Ho-Oh figurines.
Oh, no.
When you pre-ordered the games. And so that they could Pokemon battle with their little figurines.
Oh my god.
And Molly and I were just standing there looking at the spectacle. These kids were like, I don't know, 16, 17. They were not young by any means. Too old to be messing around with little figurines. And the two of us were just sitting there watching them play with their little Pokemon figurines like, holy shit. This is what we are not right now.
I am too old to play with little figurines.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I am better than these people. No, I'm not. I'm worse, actually. Good lord. What am I doing with my life?
How much money have you spent on amiibos?
Exactly. I feel like I need to have like a scene like at the end of The Godfather where she goes in to like pray for her husband's soul. Like, I gotta go in and be like, dear Lord, if you're up there, please spare Chris from bankruptcy. Let his son go to college.
It's getting there. It's slowly getting there. I did the math, and I said even if I just stick to the Super Smash Brothers line of amiibos, it's gonna be something in the ballpark of like $600, and that's at MSRP. That's not even $600. That's for 50 figures. I could have had, you know, a PS4 and damn near an Xbox 360, I'm sure, at that, or a Xbox One at that point.
I can't.
We'll
cope
see. I don't know.
with amiibo addiction. I can't cope. Like I can't. I've got my Shulk. I've got my Marth. I've got Kirby on the way if Chris ever sends him.
Amiibo money has prevented me.
I have a comment coming into me via AIM chat from a viewer who is currently a GameStop manager, so I cannot name him, but he is one of my bestest friends, saying that he has seen grown men come to blows over the last pack of Pokemon cards.
Oh my god.
I completely believe it. You know, it's funny that the Huo and Lugia little figures were mentioned, because if these people would have just gone to Best Buy, they had them just sitting there, and they said just buy the game, and yeah.
Because they never was there like street dates. What are those? We just found these boxes and we're just gonna put them out here. I mean, $100,000 fine per unit. What is that? Let's just put that on a wall.
Here, let's just throw it out there.
Let me get this right. I guess Hockey Dude 1103. I guess that's what that is meant to symbolize. But Hockey Dude 1103.
He's not as cool as he sounds.
Do you really need that many amiibos, Chris? Do you really need them?
Need versus want.
Yes, I need them. I need them all.
Look at that look of shame on his face.
Nothing has caused me as much stress in my life as worrying about when Wave 4 pre-orders are going to go up. It's ridiculous.
The Twitter feed that I see when amiibos are out is like what you see like Wolf of Wall Street, like bankers, like bank. Okay, sell, buy. And I see these people on my Twitter feed with, there's a Sonic, there's a Mega Man, oh my god, go, Sonic, I'm leaving behind. It's like, I'm sitting there like, and may God have mercy on your soul, ding, you know,
that's exactly it, only there's no sexy Margot Robbie at all.
Erika is saying what we're all thinking.
Yep. Oh, I know it. Are you kidding?
I know it. I want to start up like a
My
special
gracious.
division of the Red Cross for like the people waiting outside Toys R Us's for like amiibos. Like to go around with
Hurricane Amiibo Relief Fund.
Toys R Us's. Like when it's like 4 degrees outside, they're sitting waiting outside at Toys R Us, and I'm like, wow, I have both respect and kind of pity for you both at the same time.
May I remind you, I've done that a couple times.
I know you did. That's why I'm bringing it up.
I took pictures. I was like, you know what? People are going to hear about this because not only is it ridiculous, but damn am I suffering because it is cold as hell out here. And this is the desert. I live in the desert. How in the hell? I don't even know.
Amiibos are a terrible disease. Seek help. And Talking Dude 1103 says, who would win in a fight, me or this Tim guy? And I honestly couldn't tell you because I
don't know. Is John allowed a weapon, and is Tim blindfolded? Because that's the only way John is going to win.
He's referring to himself and Tim. The audience members are fighting among themselves.
Wow, that's a first.
If I may interject, my GameStop connection is telling me that to not be too hard on the retailers because Nintendo has been horrible about communicating when they will show up. So they really do try to tell people and respect the whole pre-order process and whatever.
Exactly.
But
no, you know what?
I hear more from him. It's like I've been on the other side of the counter for other things. Literally had my life threatened over Xbox 360s. But,
God.
Like, in terms of him with the amiibos, he's just like, he's so disgusted with Nintendo at this point. He's like, I'm never buying a Wii U.
I'm disgusted with Nintendo too. It's crazy how they handle this whole thing.
Yeah.
Because I completely understand. I've got friends that work at GameStop too, and it's the same thing. They're just pulling their hair out.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's always a case of, like, you never shoot the messenger. Obviously, it's not their fault. I've been in there, and let me tell you, like, I actually got a really great story. A lot of people, I don't know why people like to demonize GameStop so much. It doesn't seem really that fair to me, but I showed up to pick up the last 4 figures for Wave 4. So it was Ike, DDD, Sonic, and Mega Man.
You mean?
Huh? Wave 3, yeah. So I'm showing her to pick up these last 4 figures, and there's this. I've run into her maybe one time before. One of the clerks at GameStop. So she doesn't really know me yet. So this is completely, hi dogs, always with the dogs. So I show up and I'm like, oh, I'm here to pick these things up. She's like, all right, cool. She just does this. I didn't ask her to. She pulls out all of the figures that they have and she's like, you pick which one you want. And it was like,
yeah.
It's like the golden door opens and the light shines upon me. And
Chris,
I'm just bathed in the glorious warmth of being able to, like, pick out the best amiibos. No, actually I didn't.
That was a Walmart exclusive, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's not out yet.
These things, and I know this. That's the that's how it spread. Like, I don't even want them.
You're a carrier. You're a carrier now.
I'm an outbreak monkey.
Yes.
I'm a carrier too, Erika, because I'm not really into. Like, obviously, you and I are both going to get Shulk, because we've played and seen the end of Xenoblade Chronicles.
That's why I got it. Like, I pre-ordered it back in, like, last year.
Yeah, like November. Like, that's...
Exactly, because I didn't think it was going to be that big of a deal, but I remembered...
And then it was.
Like, out the ass for the used copy of Xenoblade.
Oh, God.
Yeah, GameStop. I wonder why we demonized you.
They were in the factory, man. It was like they just wheeled out the Ark of the Covenant, and they just tipped it over, and the ashes came out, and all these ghosts started melting Nazi faces off.
Prime trilogy? Oh, what's that? Oh, here's 6,000 copies. Oh.
As they're pulling it out from under the counter, ripping the plastic off, just out of your field of vision. Oh, we have a used one. You're like, dude, I just saw you take the wrapping off.
Debating if it was a reprint because of the holes in the disc case and how, like, that proved it was a reprint. And I'm like, that really is just because, like, Nintendo uses different, I think, shell manufacturers probably per lot. So I got home and I'm like, okay, if I ever need to sell this, we want to rectify this. It's like, ripped open all my Wii games. I'm like, oh, look, here's one without holes. Put it all together. I'm like, oh my God, it's so authentic. It's like...
You've got this whole thing figured out. If I ever need to, like, get out of my amiibo debt hole, I'm coming to you.
Dude, I'll be on eBay. I'll be like, hey, no, get out of here with that $50. I'm on $100.
Man.
Wow.
I'm scared of you.
I can't take the top hat off of this shirt and take it to you, Erika, but wow. Wow.
I know, man. She's got some hustle. I'm like kind of scared now. Oh God.
I worked at EB Games for a long time. I sold a lot of warranties that people did not need.
Bravo.
Oh man.
Oh God.
So is my expertise going to be put to use in this episode? Because I thought this is
you know what?
The Atelier.
We were supposed to be talking about the things that we've done, but we've done nothing but talk about various tangents inspired by the audience that we've never had before until Erika showed up. Erika,
I bring the noise.
If you would like,
no kidding, and the thunder and the.
But it's noise.
Please do tell us what you've been doing and all of your expertise. Please do bring the knowledge.
Okay, so what have I been doing? I've been playing Hyperdimension Noir on the PS Vita, which is the strategy RPG, the first entrance in the new in the Hyperdimension and Atelier universe. I just recently completed the first episode of Life is Strange on the PlayStation 4. I have gotten my husband addicted to Evolve because I have been playing that a ton on the Xbox One. Let's see, what else? Yeah, no, that's pretty much... Oh, and I've been trying to beat the Firefly Diaries, but subsequently wanting to rip my Vita in half because it is really hard. But it is not bad. It's just hard. So if you think it's bad, it means you suck at the game. So
get good.
Get good.
Show us your props. Tell us what they are. Tell us about all the toys that you've brought.
Okay. This is Nep Nep. So you can buy her at on the NISA website. Despite the fact that IF make whatever, I don't understand the relationship, but yes, this is Nep Nep. Or Nepu Nepu if you play in Japanese like I do. So that's why I type Nepu Nepu and you guys type Nep Nep. But this is my Hyperdimension handkerchief, which I use to clean my PS Vita screen. Why
nice.
not?
Get all those saucy ladies rubbing directly up against it. Very nice.
This is my calendar.
Yes.
You have to know what day it is.
Yes. My love. That's actually from the game Chris just reviewed, which was Rebirth 2.
Look at that plug! Yes!
And
I know, I didn't even have to. Wow!
It's actually a really good review, and I brought this other prop because this was the original Hyperdimension MK2. And I know you talked about how, and I know a lot of people were questioning if it was toned down at all. And yes, it was, which I know you, Chris, and I had, and Daryl had talked a lot about whether or not it was. And I think a lot of people forgot, this was the original rating of the original one.
Right.
Okay, it was the only one of the series ever to have an M rating. That's how bad it was. So yeah, but they have it down to, as you can see, a teen rating for the remake. So I can tell you from first-hand experience of both that this is way more creepy, and I was disturbed by this. I will probably never replay this game. I'm a little I probably wouldn't want it to be found on my person.
Fair enough.
It's like I clear my browser history.
Yeah,
it's please hide Neptunia Mark II from my relatives.
I won't get rid of it because it's just one of those things. Hey, remember when Neptunia had an M rating? But
that was a great show and tell. It really was.
Yeah, no,
and even worked in a plug.
Art books, and if we got around to Atelier, I brought this for Chris to show him that there is an Atelier Bible of all the ladies.
Nice.
First trilogy on the PlayStation. So.
When Chris says that you are the aficionado, he is correct. He is absolutely correct.
We'll put it this way. Never before, as a new fan of the Hyper Neptunia series, I come to her a lot for knowledge. My review for Hyperdimension Mark II or Rebirth 2 is as it is only because of her and Beryl's aid. So I have to give you like massive props for helping me on that, because yeah, thanks.
Well, Rebirth 1, I know for a lot of people too, was a huge overhaul because the first Neptunia game was literally unplayable. I mean, it was broken. It just had tutorials missing from it. The only way I was able to complete the game was because somebody had bothered to put up what was missing online through some horrible, painful trial and error that I'm glad I wasn't a part of. But I played it, but it was very painful. And like when Rebirth 1 is a completely different game. So anybody who played that first game and was like never again, like please come back to the series. It is not the same series. And
it's good. It's good. Like I genuinely enjoy it.
Like this, with like 4 Nep-Neps in a row right down the middle there.
You are certainly dedicated. There's no mistake.
There might be too many of these games, and yet there aren't.
While we're talking about Nep-Nep, Tim has asked, what are some of the best quotes of all that franchise?
Oh, God. There's a lot, actually.
Just like 2 that come to mind immediately for both of you, because I have no experience with this series whatsoever, so I'm in the same boat as he is.
Oh, my God.
I think for me, and this comes from Rebirth 1. This got me. Obviously, it was a remake, and Nep-Nep has just fallen into a cave below, and I feel like something happens, and someone says, "Wow, that was completely unexpected. They really changed the story with this remake." And so they refer to the game itself being a remake. Like they break fourth wall all the time.
Yes.
It's nice.
It's really great. Oh my God! Another one from the first game. This one made me laugh so hard. Vert is the CPU for Leanbox, which is sort of like the Xbox homage, like little land. Right, and Vert is like some super hardcore. Like she plays online games all the time. Oh yeah, let's get some beautiful Vert footage. She's so nice. I like her. Anyway, for reasons I'm sure you can pin down very easily, but 2 of them. If only the pictures bounce like they do in the game, because there's some physics in that game.
This is gonna be the most unique episode of the Backwards Compatible podcast to ever exist.
As John runs and hides in the back of his mind from all of his perversion, I'm sure.
I'm not hiding at all. I'm here for y'all. I am.
Anyway, so there are these 2 brothers. These 2 brothers, they kind of betray the main characters in the game, and so at the end of the game, when they're resolving everything, their punishment is to do nothing but play through Vert's backlog of boys' love games.
Yes!
Until the older brother starts to get a little fresh with the younger brother, and it alludes to some very funny things happening between the 2 of them, things that are perhaps not safe for children's eyes. I just
remembered my favorite. Well, it's a moment, but it was so amazingly done. In Neptunia V, which the remake of is coming out, I think maybe this summer in the United States. I know.
I'm sure they're like 6 months apart, these games.
Yeah, they're already made, so it's kind of just like spitting them back out. But there's a part in Neptunia V where a character decides to have the super deep backstory moment, and the whole game is nothing but tongue-in-cheek. So, like, the music changes, it gets all serious, and she's like, let me tell you the story of my people. And so she starts putting up these pictures as slideshows, except I swear to God these pictures must have been some developer's kids, like, doodles. Because like when you ask a 2-year-old to draw what their family looks like, and it's some horrible, like, long-legged thing with, like, that's what it looked like. So the whole time she's, like, being all serious and sad, you just hear Neptune and Noir and Vert, like, they're just, like, they're like hysterical. And then she, like, stops the whole thing. She's like, what's the matter with you? I'm trying to tell you. And they're like, I'm sorry, but did we blow our whole budget with the rest of these games? This is terrible.
Fair enough.
Oh, man, that sounds great.
I think that definitely answers Tim's question.
That moment was just, that was the best.
I am really looking forward to that because that sounds hilarious.
I hope they don't change that scene because that was, I mean, I played the PS3 version first, obviously, so I'm hoping that stays in there because that was priceless.
Tim says one of the favorite that you've tweeted, Erika, was the creator's quote put on the box about butts or something.
Oh, that's Senran Kagura.
Oh, about the kids are life.
Yeah.
Yes, I know this well.
That he is referring to.
Tits are life and ass is downtown.
Hometown.
Okay.
Hometown.
Yes.
Tits are life and ass is hometown.
That is seriously, that has revolutionized the Senran Kagura series because it's everybody knows now. They're like, oh yeah, check out all the life. There's so much life. And then you just know. They're like, they're talking about boobies, man. I know. They're just talking about melonas.
Chris, tell us what you've been doing.
Well, I don't know how I can top that, John, but...
Of course not, but you know what? We just roll right along here.
We're gonna have to. Let's see. No pressure. I really can't, so please don't expect me to even try. I did play Pokemon, the Delta episode, and that's super awesome. Like, I just want to say that one more time. That's super awesome. John,
did you finish it?
Did you not? No, I haven't finished it yet. I just got Rayquaza.
Okay.
I know there's still more.
Have you fought Z after you get Rayquaza?
I think so.
You fought her after you got Rayquaza. Like you got Rayquaza,
no,
and then you fought.
Not yet. No. Well, she taught him a move.
Yes, and then
I had to close it.
Oh.
I seriously had to close it because then we're doing the show. Like this was literally like 15 minutes ago.
Chris, while I'm talking about what I'm doing, Chris, I need you to open it up and begin the fight and listen to that music and tell me, man to man, that is not the best piece of music in the entire 19-year history of that franchise.
I will do this for you.
Man.
Only because I like you so much.
Fair enough. We will continue this in a moment, but please do keep telling us what you've been up to.
Let's see. And then moving on to other Delta things, I bought Soul Sacrifice Delta for the Vita.
Oh, yay!
Don't yay just yet. Don't yay just yet. Hold on. Hold your applause.
You're about to break her heart.
I am about.
These for? This is terrible.
You're about to break her heart.
Sony is doing you wrong. Okay, so I owned the original Soul Sacrifice, and I did rather love it because the folklore story approach to that game is like really awesome, and I love it.
The writing.
And so, the little
excellent.
backstories. It's amazing. So, I knew Delta had come out. I wanted it, but I didn't have a big enough memory card. That prevented me from getting a lot of these games like Atelier, Verona, which I just got, which I'll get to you in a sec, which I'm about to break your heart on that. But the reaction was priceless. It was so good. No, just wait for it. And so I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to get Delta. Well, I don't need the original Soul Sacrifice anymore, so I'm going to take that. I'm going to trade that in. So I sold that, and then I got Delta just recently after I have my new 64-gigabyte memory card for Vita. It was like, hallelujah, thank God for that. But it's like, load your save. And I'm like, cool, I'm going to load this save. And I press the button, and it tells me, you need to have the original game card plugged in for this save to load. And I'm like seriously, it was like the color drained from my face. I just stared at it like I had just been stabbed in the back. I'm sitting like, at two Sony. Like, I'm so betrayed.
But wait,
I'm like,
hang on. Did they need the original save to carry progress, or was this just like what was that for?
It's because it says like you can transfer all of your story progression, all the offerings that you've unlocked, all of that can transfer over, but can only work if you have the original game card still inserted in your Vita while you press the button, which is the save data is on my damn Vita. It's right there. I never deleted it because I knew you could import saves.
That is completely weird, because...
That is complete bullshit is what it is. I'm so angry. I have so many great offerings. Like, I played that game for so much.
Their stupid anti-piracy, like, overprotection, because, you know, I think it was... Atelier Rorona Plus actually has an import save feature, and it will look for save data from basically every Atelier game in existence to give you extra little clothing items, including Vita saves if you have them backed up to your PS3. Like, it doesn't need the original cart. Like, you wouldn't be able to put the cartridge in your PS3. It just needs the save data. So for the fact they would, that's a Sony, because Soul Sacrifice is an SCEA game, right? It was published by Sony of America. Yeah, that's their piracy protection right there.
I was so pissed. Like, yeah. So I'm gonna wait, and I'm gonna see if I can't find somebody who can like lend me their little card or whatever, and see if maybe I can do it that way. Because I mean, I played the Soul Sacrifice, the original, for like 40, 50 hours. I don't want to lose all that, man. I don't want to. I just can't do it. So.
If we can, Chris, you and I maybe can work something out. I platinum Soul Sacrifice. So.
Oh, nice.
You know, if you, I'm imagining I have everything unlocked, but you know, so maybe we can use the postal service for something.
That postal service. Well, we'll see. We'll talk.
But
we'll talk about
Chris
it.
has to work into his amiibo money to ship your game back.
That's true. It's just an awful series.
Speaking of amiibo money, speaking of amiibos, Hockey Dude 1103 asks, would you, Chris, fight a small child for an amiibo if it was the last one you needed to complete your collection? And if it was the last one left in circulation?
How old is the child? That's very important to my answer, actually. I would say if the child is 10, he had it coming. I would kick a 10-year-old's ass. Like, I would do that. If there was a Marth left on the shelf and I saw this kid going for it, I would give him, like, the hip check.
Oh,
and I would take the Marth.
Especially if you heard him being really bratty. And,
yes.
You know, being like, I just want that blue dude because I want him. And you'll be like, you don't even know! You don't even know!
You don't deserve him! Yes. I'll be like those dudes that came into GameStop.
Yeah.
There you go. If it was, I'm gonna safely say, kids younger than 6 are safe. So, like, if a kid's 5 or younger, I think I would show some restraint, and I would not deck that kid across the face for a Marth. So I'm gonna say.
Would you, however, deck their mom? Because.
Oh yeah. I'm an equal opportunity decker.
Well, I'm saying under 6, you have to really go for the parental figure.
That's true.
Who really just wants their kid to cut up. So, you know, you could maybe bribe them with something else. Have like a decoy.
So if the kid was 3 years old, Chris, he'd be safe?
3-year-olds would be safe. And like I said, unless the parent was around, like thankfully Erika has given me this loophole, then I would deck the parent.
Yeah.
So
you have to go where the money is, you know?
There you go. Because what kid that young has income? That's logic is spot on. That's so right.
Yes.
You two are phenomenal. I just want you to know that. You two complete me. Wow, this show. I'm so happy this exists right now.
We're exploring how
this moment.
We're exploring how deep my addiction goes, and I think I should probably be grateful for it. But it's also showing me how much of like a monster I am. So.
Oh my god! You said monster. That's a chance for a segue. Because what else have you been doing involving monsters?
Got some more of that hunting horn going on, man. Been playing Monster Hunter, making Charlotte proud. I've been vaulting on monsters and stabbing them on the neck. It's been pretty fun.
Very nice.
It's great. Like, Monster Hunter, I've been very vocal about my ability to not enjoy those games before. And nothing has really changed in terms of the things I've criticized it before, like the high barrier of entry, you know, the almost complete focus on multiplayer for that game. But having someone to play multiplayer with has literally shown me. It's like getting on that carpet, you know, with Aladdin, and he's like singing to you, like, check out all this awesome stuff that you had no idea about, because you're a woman living in Arabia, and we don't teach you anything.
She has a pet tiger. She is not that oppressed. I don't have a pet tiger.
Holy shit! What ground did we just break right now?
Hey, man, she wasn't allowed to leave the damn palace, okay? That's pretty sheltered. Okay, so
Chris,
I will fight you on Disney items, because I love Disney movies, and I am not afraid to say that.
Jasmine's my favorite princess.
Yeah, she's pretty cool. I'm not sure if she's my favorite princess. I do have a favorite Disney princess.
Which is?
I suppose you want me to... Okay, it's Mulan. It's Mulan.
Right.
It's Mulan! Mulan is super awesome.
Everybody right now, favorite Disney princess. Go.
God, Chris said Mulan. Yours is Jasmine. I don't even... Do I?
You have to. Okay, what's your favorite Disney movie?
You have to go by hotness. I mean, just pick something.
Dude, there's like Maid Marian from the Robin Hood.
I mean, like, I really can't pick a favorite. I can't pick a favorite. As far as my favorite Disney movie, like, I really, really love Aladdin. I do. But there are so many others, and picking Aladdin would make me feel bad about not picking Mulan.
What about Belle? I have a feeling you're like a Belle kind of guy.
Maybe I am, because we did just watch... I'll get to me in a minute, but I have brand shiny new internet back here that I have cut Comcast cable out of my life forever, and this is the only
Congratulations
by name.
You have taken a step into a larger world.
I'm done, and I have gotten DSL instead, and it is not affecting my internet speed at all because I can still host this show. I'm very happy. Anyway, while we were without internet for a few days, we watched Beauty and the Beast.
We call those the dark times.
They were the dark times, but we did, on DVD, watch Beauty and the Beast, and I do have a renewed respect for Belle, because Belle is a lot like one of my very best friends, and she is good people, so I'm very much a Belle fan. So yeah, we'll go with Belle. We will.
Yeah, one of my friends just said Belle as well, so you have company.
There you go.
Belle crowd.
Good. A new viewer, Marissa, says that she is also a part of the Amiibo obsession, and it's the worst. We've had a lot of recurring themes in this show. It is the worst.
It's like, I swear to God, Amiibos, it's like the new cigarettes. Everyone who smokes cigarettes, like, they're never proud of it. They're like, oh, you smoke? Yeah. And it's like, Amiibo's like, yeah, you collect Amiibos? Yeah.
Marissa,
I should really cut it out.
That's my Reese. She's adorable. Tell her that she'll be doomed if they ever make a Phoenix Wright.
Oh, God! Oh!
Chris, look what you're doing to Chris. This is so great. Jared has destroyed the comment section of the show. Jared used to be on this show. He says he does not know who Erika is because he's never met you before as well, before this show, but he has that same shirt that you do. So you have a shirt, buddy.
I've actually had a couple people on my Twitter saying they like my shirt. Can I say where I got it? Because I'd love to give them a shout out.
Absolutely. You are free to plug anything and everything on this show. We're indie.
Well, this is an indie site, and I happen to love them very much. I don't know anybody there, so really I have no allegiance aside from great customer service and quality, but the site is called The Yeti. It's spelled the and then Yeti, Y-E-T-E-E, just theyeti.com, and every day...
I think that's also where I got this shirt.
It might be. Every day they have a different design for $11 for 24 hours. Sometimes it's 2 designs, and then they have also a back stock of designs that are for slightly more, usually around 17. But if you catch, a lot of their stuff is like limited. This one I think is actually in their back stock. And it's not a girl's shirt. Like, you can buy female sizes, and they're made for women, which is the big thing here. Like, it's not a guy's shirt in extra small with the shoulders kind of like falling off, and you're like, I'm wearing my boyfriend's clothes. No, but guys can get guy versions, so it doesn't look like they're wearing, like, skin tight tube tops. So they make it for everybody.
as big of a fan of that site as you are, because the Monado shirts that Charlotte and I both have is from that site, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, the Yeti is it's very addictive, and I warn you and your wallets, but they're great. I haven't had a single shirt lose, like, color or quality, so whatever they're doing, keep it up, and I just wanted to give them a shout-out.
Very true. Oh my gracious, what a show it's been. Real quick.
Okay, where did we even, I don't even know, where did we leave off?
Real quick on me. Besides, the last thing on your list, Chris, is one more time, plug your review.
Ah, yes. Hyperdimension Neptunia Rebirth 2 Sisters Generation. I had seriously the best tweet when I said sisters are doing it for themselves, like that Eurythmics song, and I wondered, like, instantly why I didn't put that in the review. So, you know, make up for it with a tweet, I guess.
It's this for this.
Yes!
And you
feed your Vita.
Review right now on GamePodunk.com.
GamePodunk.com.
So check that out. And speaking of things that you can find on GamePodunk.com, we can segue right into my big plug of the week. I am giving away, straight from this 3DS right here to your 3DS, if you register on the site and comment on my article, I'm giving away a Mew. We all know Mew is super duper hard to come by. I was nostalgic. I got myself another Mew, and now I'm giving away my old one because I'm a pretty generous guy, and I'm giving away a lot more other ultra super awesome rare Pokemon in the mix. So do check that article out also on GamePodunk.com. That is a great site. You guys should maybe give it a visit, especially since we've got so many viewers thanks to Erika's awesomeness over here.
Oh, it's happening, John. Dude, why do her eyes get so freaky? I get so scared of her, like...
What?
No, I'm saying
it's hers.
Chris is
no, Zinnia.
Convinced that, like, I am this horrible, angry person.
Dude, Zinnia's great. That's one of the better Pokemon characters. Listen to that music, Chris. Listen to it.
Okay, I gotta have to hold on.
All right. Meanwhile,
can you guys hear it?
Actually, yes, but like it's really bad quality. Oh, wait. There we go.
That's max volume.
You can probably hear it a lot better than we can, obviously.
Yeah.
But you're a fan, yes?
It is really good, I will say.
It sounds like a death carnival over here, so.
It really does. I will, Erika, I'll give you a better look at the song he's listening to so you can appreciate it for its actual musical goodness. But that's all I wanted from Chris. And now that he's heard that song, we vibe.
Wait, Dragon Ascent is a flying type move and not a dragon type move?
Yup.
That makes absolutely no sense.
Both a dragon and a flying type? I mean, don't dragons have wings?
We talked about
this
Dragon Quest on this show, and we talked about Golden Sun on this show, and we talked about Pokemon on this show right now. But I'm about to open up this other can of worms.
Wait, John, wait! We have to let her know, John. We have to let her know. Pokemon makes no sense. You can have Charizard cannot learn Fly because it is not a flying type Pokemon, even though it has wings. Yet Dodrio, a land bird, like an ostrich that has 3 heads, can fly.
It's true.
Don't look.
Charizard can learn Fly in the later games.
And Mew and Mewtwo that have nothing that even resembles wings can fly because they are psychic.
Psychic.
Yes, and he levitates and can also speak in the movie.
Through the mind.
All right.
Yes.
We ready to open up the final can of worms of this show?
Do it.
It's time to talk about Fire Emblem. Erika, are you a Fire Emblem fan?
I am not. I am sorry. Actually, no.
Fire Emblem.
I take it back because I've never played it. So I'm a neutral.
Oh.
You play a Fire Emblem, and I'll play a Dragon Quest.
Well, deal. But when I get to it.
Okay.
I don't. Oh my God, Erika, do you have a 3DS? You do.
We know we own the game. My husband played it and beat it, so it's just now I have to get to it. See, like, I saw a good amount. I didn't see any spoilers, but I saw a good amount, like, while he was playing it. So I wanted to kind of forget what I saw before I started to play it.
I don't know.
A whole bunch of other stuff happens, and there's so many games.
Do I know? Oh my gracious. Do I know what Fire Emblem game to recommend you play first? Do I think Awakening should be your starting points?
I heard the 3DS undid the permadeath or whatever.
It does.
It's an option. It's an option.
Chris,
Erika,
I don't want to play the game forever.
You strike me as a person who likes hard stuff, though.
I do if I can beat it. Like me and Firefly Diaries are on a little bit of a timeout, and that's really hard. But like if it's good strategy, like strategy, like Growlancer Generations. Growlancer Generations had 2 fights that were super dick and super cheap. And I almost didn't beat the game because of them, but I got through it.
She's speaking my language right now. She really is.
But then Valkyrie Profile. That one,
okay.
I couldn't beat it. I must have tried like a billion times, and I said, screw this game. I don't know if I can curse on this show, so
You can. You're allowed.
Throw them out there. John drops like 50 F-bombs a show, usually.
I do.
And so I never touched it again. So like there's 2 different kinds of like tolerances I have where it's like I don't have any ability to get better or stronger. I don't know if
we can't connect on Fire Emblem yet, you and I, but can we connect with the original Final Fantasy Tactics for the PlayStation?
Will it blend?
I couldn't beat it.
You couldn't beat it, but have you played it?
Oh yes, I've played it. I've played it in its Game Boy Advance. I've played it in its Game Boy Advance and PSP iterations.
Aha! How far did you get in the PSP version of the game?
Oh jeez, I don't know.
You played it for a few hours though. You know what it's like.
Yes. I know that.
Did you ever
get mad at like what I would have like these archers from the enemies like up here, and I would like start out in a valley for some reason, and I'd just be getting like massacred.
Oh man.
After see, I developed a tolerance for these things over the years, but at the time I probably didn't have it yet. So there are things I should revisit.
After this conversation, start with Fire Emblem Awakening, and if you like what you're playing, if you like what you see. After you get a Wii U, on the Virtual Console, there is the original Fire Emblem, the first Fire Emblem that we ever got in the West, subtitled as Blazing Sword in Japan. It's this one with the female protagonist named Lyn, L-Y-N. That is the next Fire Emblem I suggest you try. You go from Awakening, then you get a Wii U on the Virtual Console, that Fire Emblem. And then if you like those, if you dabble in those and you manage to beat them and you like that story, graduate yourself to what Chris is trying to go for Fire Emblem Path of Radiance on the GameCube and Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn with our good friend Ike, who Charlotte is a big fan of.
Okay.
So your order is Awakening
He fights for
first.
his friends.
Awakening comes first because you can turn off the permadeath. It'll let you like get your feet wet into what the series has to offer.
So
you already own it, so that definitely helps. And then you can play the Fire Emblem
my
on
barrier to
GBA.
entry is my entertainment center.
And hopefully by the time you've finished all those games, Radiant Dawn will be available to purchase on your Wii U digitally, instead of having to pay an ungodly sum of money to own the Wii version.
There's going to be so
That's
many.
what I'm going
God, I have, I've never played Monster Hunter, but Tokiden is coming out, the next one, Katama. And talking about, I know Fire Emblem has the legacies of like a family that goes through, and I have Orishika, the Tainted Bloodlines, just came out today. So that's another family of like, I'm never going to beat all these games.
See, Marissa agrees with me and says Awakening is a good start, and it was her first Fire Emblem game.
Awakening is pretty good.
I think that was a lot of people's first Fire Emblem games because they're pretty known.
I'm so glad that it got many people into the series because I want more people to play the Fire Emblem games because they have rich stories. They're all focused on family and genealogy and some politics stuff. And I just dig those games. That's one of my all-time favorite series. So while I was sick with the flu, you can't tell that I'm still sick with the flu because you guys have been keeping me highly entertained all this night. But I did nothing but play through the first Fire Emblem that I just mentioned on the Wii U Virtual Console. I did nothing but play through that game while I was bedridden on the couch. It was a good.
Then you weren't that sick.
It was good stuff. Oh, trust me, Chris. I was sick. Trust
you weren't
me on
that sick. You were not that sick. I have been sick to the point where even pressing an on button, an A once every like 5 minutes is too much work because I am just dead.
You don't understand.
Are we gonna have a sick off here?
I can be on my deathbed.
This is every week.
I was so
This
sick
is every week. This is every week. This is every week.
This is every week. Welcome to the show.
It is. This is the true gauntlet. Because
basically, John and I bicker like the odd couple.
I don't care if I've been shot and I'm on my deathbed. I will still whip my 3DS out of my pocket, open it up, and like catch that shiny ho-oh or something. Like it's gonna be a thing that happens. I will be playing games no matter how off the wall I am. I will be so off the wall that I can't move, but I will still find it in me to pick this up and open it. So Chris, if you can't play games while you're sick, you're not man enough.
Oh.
Is that how it is? Oh my god.
Oh. He just said you're a filthy casual.
Oh my god.
Oh, damn. Well, that's it. It's time to sell my new 3DS and go play Candy Crush for 300 hours.
Oh my god. You just took
Real
way
quick.
too far, okay?
We have to end this show at some point because we're going to be here all night, and I don't want to be here all night, and it's already past both my bedtime and poor Erika's bedtime.
It's midnight here in New Jersey. And,
It is.
Well,
All right,
I'm sure.
real quick. Shovel Knight, a game I've played, a game Chris has played. Erika, have you played Shovel Knight?
I have not because I suck at those kinds of games, but I go ahead.
Fair enough. But you've certainly seen it. You see the appeal. You know why various people consider it a good game.
Yes.
Free content is coming to Shovel Knight later this year. It is in the form of Plague of Shadows. It features a brand new playable character and a bunch of new playable levels and bosses and all sorts of fun stuff. That's cool. Chris, you will finally get your Marth amiibo when it comes out in late April after an apparent restock that Nintendo America tweeted themselves.
I saw that.
Very hyped, very hyped. Hopefully I don't have to punch any 6-year-olds.
Hopefully.
I'm gonna cross my fingers.
I think I'm gonna pre-order one and like never play Fire Emblem and just like have it sit behind me. If I'm ever on this show again, I'm just gonna dangle it here next to the Shulk one.
What do you think he's been doing?
I've done it.
He does this every week.
No, but I'm gonna keep mine in a box. I'm gonna keep mine in a box. I'm gonna purposely mispronounce it all the time. I'm gonna be like, oh, Bart? Oh, what's his name again? I don't even
He fights for his friends. I don't know. He's a pretty ugly girl.
Oh my god. Jesus. Okay. Real quick, Chris, since you're the one who brought it up, what are your top 5 tracks on the new smashing soundtrack?
We don't have to. We can skip this.
All right.
You know what? In lieu of this, I want to ask Erika, have you ever seen the Jersey Devil?
I have been to the Pine Barrens, and no. I have, however, seen some really, really shady places in the Pine Barrens. So if he's in there, if he's anywhere in New Jersey, it will be there. But yeah.
One of my favorite independent developers are based in New Jersey, so I have a place for New Jersey in my heart.
Have they seen the Jersey Devil?
Act Studios, if you're listening to this show, God bless you.
Jersey Devil.
No, I'm determined. I'm going to find somebody.
If if you guys have looked up Y2K from Axe Studios, the Jersey Devil may very well be in that game somewhere.
I'm sure it
Dude,
is. I mean,
if it's not, you need to tell them to put it in there. You need to. Oh my God, I'm already gonna buy that game, but you know
Fair
them.
enough.
You know them. Tell them to put the Jersey Devil in the game.
Real quick, let's keep things on a sad note just real quick because I have to bring it up because this is like an iconic passing. R.I.P. Leonard Nimoy. Like, for reals.
Aww.
I was in the middle of no internet and was just disconnected from the world when that happened, but I still found my way on Twitter through my phone, and I was just like, no.
Yes.
Dude, that wrecked me the whole day. I seriously couldn't even get back on Twitter. It was so awful.
His final performance is going to be Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yes,
and
that's kind of amazing, you know, to see.
That game and that whole series that has been trying so desperately to wrap up is going to be Mr. Leonard Nimoy's final performance.
Yes.
So I have a place for Kingdom Hearts 3, like, reserved on my shelf, and it's going to stay there for an eternity now that is Mr. Nimoy's final performance as Master Xehanort. Because I think... don't quote me on this, but I think the voice work was rumored to be completed. So I think that may very well be the last time we ever hear him.
That's very sad. I mean, it's actually, I thought it was very admirable that William Shatner, I don't know if you saw, William Shatner wasn't at Leonard Nimoy's funeral, and he caught a lot of flack for that because he was in Florida at a Red Cross charity event the night before, and they actually had put it in the newspaper. Like the headline was Captain Jerk couldn't beam up to Spock's funeral in time.
Oh my God.
So I thought it was I mean, first of all, he didn't have to do this at all, and I probably wouldn't as a human being because it's not anybody's business. But he took to his Twitter and actually said, you know, if you have something you want to say to me, say it here. And it actually became like a civilized discussion of discussing his best memories with Leonard Nimoy. And it was actually really, really sweet. Like, people were just like, you know, what were some of the best moments you had with him, and, you know, what was one of the nicest things he ever said to you, and just kind of like, just like a really nice way to see a best friend remember another best friend. Aside from this creepy human ritual we have of going to go look at their dead body,
right,
and being like, oh, this is how you know I cared about you.
It's true.
Yep.
You know,
People
like, I thought it was nice that he didn't have to do that and was grieving and is, like, on Twitter talking to fanboys that,
I think that is one of the ways that would help me to cope, though. Like,
I think, yeah.
Binding.
Put some distance. Yeah, maybe, you know, it also helps you, I don't know, maybe have some camaraderie.
Absolutely. And that is what this show is all about, is camaraderie. Because
well, I was gonna say I've already promised that Randy, when he dies, like for reals, not just like he's dead because he's not on the show. When he dies for real, I need to show up wearing the clothes that he died in with a sonic screwdriver and just tell everybody, like, come on, it's time. I need someone to come with me. And play off that I'm the reincarnation of Randy.
Fair enough.
He was a Time Lord. So I do this for him. So I have to go to his funeral, obviously, in order to pull this off.
It's true.
Can't do it from a distance.
Mm.
Man, like, I don't want to spend too much time on this, but, like, that is definitely one of those things, like with Robin Williams' death last year.
Oh,
where
God.
It was just like, ugh. Man.
Well, that was worse because that was so unexpected. He was not, like, Leonard Nimoy was 83 or 84 years old, and he was in, like, end stages of COPD.
Right.
I mean, he lived that long after being a self-admitted horrendous chain smoker.
Right.
And 84 is 83, 84, that's a very full life. Robin Williams was out of nowhere. I mean...
It's true.
And, I mean, that was... I couldn't believe what I was reading. Yeah, that was horrible. That was a horrible day.
All right, let's lighten this show back up.
Yeah, man.
I don't know how we're going to do it. Here, this is my cute Charmander. You can look at my cute Charmander made out of yarn.
Oh, my God! Turn it side
Wow.
Does it have a flame?
Okay. It does.
Oh! Never let it go out.
Of course not. Oh my god,
that was the most traumatic episode for me of the original Pokemon, was when they find the abused Charmander, and he's out in the rain, and his master doesn't care about him, and his flame is going out, and I was like, no!
Never let it go. You know what? That's how we're going to end this show. Never let it go out. Alright, let's wrap this up. Real quick before I do, let's make sure I haven't missed anything in the audience questions. Real quick before we go, HockeyDude1103 asks if any of us guys or girls play Dragon Warrior Monsters. That game was the shit back in the day. And I think he's talking about the original Game Boy Color release.
Oh. I forget what that was on. I remember the box art for it.
Dragon Warrior Monsters was one part Dragon Warrior, one part Pokemon to mend.
Yeah.
It was good stuff. And yes, I played the hell out of that game. I certainly did.
Did you think it was the shit?
Yes. I certainly... You have an agreeer in this here show panel.
There you go, Hockey Dude.
There we go. That is a good way to end this note. If you would like to leave us feedback or tell Erika to come on this show every single week, because she is welcome to do so. She has changed up this show in ways that I could have never possibly imagined.
I'll try to wear a different shirt from the Yeti every time.
Feedback by sending us an email to feedback@bcpodcast or feedback.bcpodcast@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter @BC_podcast, as well as like and follow us, etc. on Facebook, Google+, Tumblr. We're everywhere. That's Backwards Compatible Podcast, all one word. You can follow us individually on Twitter. I am @RadicalDefects.
I am @WildCardCorsair.
And Erika, where can the lovely people find you?
I am @HelloNeo. It is spelt with 1s and 0s, and I'll let you figure out where those are supposed to go. So that's how I know you're a worthy follower.
Enough. I was going to leave us with an audience question, but I don't think this show needs an audience question. I just don't even know. There's just no way.
The audience question is, why is my phone always dead? That's the audience question. You can answer that. Thank you.
Fair enough. That's something we can play around with, but in what has quite possibly been the best possible episode of the Backwards Compatible Podcast. We'll see you guys next time. We'll see if we can live up to this shit next week. Well done, Erika.
Spoiler alert, no.
For being on this show.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. It was a blast.
Of course.
It was totally worth staying up past my imaginary bedtime, which is really so I can go back to playing Hyperdimension Noir.
Totally you're an adult now. You can have breakfast for dinner and candy before your meal and everything.
Noir. Enjoy it, because we are signing off, and we'll see you all on the other side. Take care, all right?